Hi, welcome back to Bash is Magic. No, it's not. An introduction to the command line for macOS and Linux. Here in part 3, we're going to talk about getting started and moving around, the basic idea behind some of these built-in commands, such as pwd, ls, man, cd, and clear. If you are a Mac or a Linux user, well, just open up a Bash terminal and let's play along at home. If you're on Mac, you can do a Spotlight search and just look for terminal. Yes, there are many other types of terminals like Z Shell and whatnot, but we're going to be worried about just built-in Bash today. If you're a Windows 10 user, you want to install the Windows subsystem for Linux or get some kind of other Bash client. I recommend using the Git Bash client when you download Git. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our terminal. This is probably the most intimidating user interface in the world. There's nothing to tell you what to do. There's nothing to tell you what's going on here. Even before we start typing and looking at commands, let's just take a look at what's on our screen. Here I can see I'm on a Mac and the default display shows me the name of the machine I'm on, what current directory I'm in. In this case, I'm in tilde. Tilde stands for my home directory. Then it tells me who I am, who is the user currently logged in. And then there's a dollar sign, and that's my prompt to start typing. So I can type anything after that. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is see where I'm at. Bash being local, it always performs actions relative to where you're looking at. So where are we looking right now? We can do pwd, which stands for present working directory. Now, I have a little bit of space inserted between commands for looking pretty on my screen. But we can see here the result of pwd was user Dwayne McDaniel. Typically, your home directory is named after the user. All right, so now we know where we're at. This is a very important concept. Again, like I said, Bash is going to perform all of the actions we ask it to do relative to where it is if we don't give it any other instructions. So next, let's look at what's in this directory. Now I'm in my home directory, so this is going to be a little bit messy, but here we see, well, here's some of the folders I have and some of the programs. Typically, folders will not have any kind of extension. Sometimes they're capital, sometimes they're lowercase. And applications or files will definitely have some kind of an extension, .json, .text, .far. It could be any number of things. So ls is useful, but ls minus a is a little more useful. ls minus a shows us everything in the directory, including our hidden folders and this dot and dot dot, which I'll talk about in a little bit. This is where a lot of users start getting a little concerned of, well, oh my goodness, how many flags are there? How many options can I run? For instance, there's also ls minus l, which will show us the long view of all the files and folders and who has permissions for what. We'll get into all of that in a different video. We can also combine these, so ls minus la will show us that same information for everything in there. And you might be thinking, wow, that starts sounding a little intimidating. How many letters am I going to have to memorize? Well, the good news is there's a help menu built right into all of this, and it's called manual. The manual, well, actually, we can even look at the manual for manual. You simply type man and then whatever command you're looking at. In this case, let's look at the manual for manual. Format and display the online manual pages. It says online, but it's important to know this works offline. This works definitely when you're not connected to the internet at all, because all of these files are local. And this will tell you how to actually use the manual. But that's not that useful for us at the moment. We're going to quit out of there by hitting Q. And I'm going to look at the manual for ls. And ls, well, we see it lists directory of contents. That's what it actually stands for. You see there's a lot of options, and it fully explains what each of them does. And there's quite a long list. Not all manuals are this long. ls has got a lot of things to it. But we'll go ahead and quit out of that. You might think, well, the screen's starting to look a little bit messy. If we'd like to get our cursor back up to the top, we can simply type clear, and that will get us back to, well, a clear screen. So now that we see where we're at, and I can see what's in this directory, now how do we move between these folders? Well, that's very simple. It's CD, or change directory. And I can change directory to a folder that I can see here, training, do an ls, a pwd. And I see that there's nothing in this folder, and it's simply a training folder. And I can do an ls minus a and see that I have, well, these two items, dot and dot dot. Dot is the self-referential dot. It simply means here in the current directory I'm at. So I can actually cd to dot, and it won't take me anywhere. It'll leave me in the same place. The dot dot, on the other hand, always means the logical level above me. So I can do a cd to dot dot and do a pwd, and I can see here now I am in fact one level up, and I can change directory into training again. I can also jump around folders using that dot and dot dot. So if I change directory to dot dot, one level up, and then go to somewhere like, I'll look at my document folder. Now I'm at PWD. I can see I'm in my document folder, and I didn't have to go back a directory and then change. I could just simply put the address. In fact, I can logically do this for any file on the system, starting with, well, that magical tilde that we talked about earlier that we see, here up on the screen. So if I change directory to tilde slash, I'm gonna look at my desktop because I know that exists. Desktop. It will take me to my desktop because, well, the path I supplied was logical and it made sense. Now I can do this for any level down I have on the machine. But in this case, let's go back to my training folder. And once again, this is getting a little bit messy, so we're gonna go ahead and clear out. Make sure you come back for part 4 where we will start creating things, moving things around, and even deleting things.